The Weight of Words by Mira Gold. Chapter 1. The car hums beneath me, a low, stubborn note that matches the thrum in my chest. I glare out the fogged-up window. Trees blur past, branches clawing at the gray sky, and I can't keep it in anymore. "You're ruining everything, Mom." My voice cracks like a snapped string, sharp and jagged, bouncing off the dashboard. It's just a spring break trip. Me and Claire and Tyler. No adults, no rules. Why can't you let me live a little? Mom's hands tighten on the wheel, her knuckles whitening like ivory keys under too much pressure. "Amelia?" I said no. Her tone's a flat final chord, the kind she uses when she's done teaching piano and wants silence. "You're 16, not 20. A trip like that, unsupervised in some rundown cabin, it's too risky. End of discussion." Her eyes stay locked on the road, the windshield wipers slapping a steady beat against the drizzle, and it's like she's playing me, not the other way around. "Risky?" I scoff, twisting in my seat, the seatbelt digging into my shoulder. "You mean fun. You wouldn't know fun if it danced in front of you. All you do is lock me up in that stupid house, pounding scales like I'm still 6. My words strike like off-key notes, loud and discordant, and I see her flinch, just a flicker in her jaw. Good, let it sting. "Claire's mom said yes, Tyler's dad too. Why are you always the wall between me and everything I want?" "Enough!" Mom snaps, her voice rising over the engine's drone, a sudden forte that makes my ears ring. "I'm your mother, not your jailer. I'm keeping you safe, something you'd thank me for if you'd stop acting like a spoiled child." The car lurches, and she takes a curve too fast. The tires whine against the wet asphalt, and I feel the tempo of our fight picking up, a wild staccato I can't control. "You don't get it, Amelia. The world isn't some adventure waiting for you. It's dangerous, and I won't lose you to it." "Lose me?" I laugh, bitter and loud, leaning closer, my breath fogging the air between us. "You already have. I hate this. I hate you." The words explode from me, a crescendo of fury, and I see her eyes widen, hurt flashing like a missed beat. But I can't stop myself. "I wish you were dead, not hovering over me every second. I'd rather live with Dad, whoever he is, than you." It's a lie wrapped in truth, a dagger I hurl because I know it'll cut deepest. The silence that follows is deafening, a rest too long, too heavy. Her mouth opens, but before she can strike back, I see it, a flash of brown, antlers cutting through the fog. "Mom, dear!" I yell, pointing, my anger now swallowed by panic. The animal bounds onto the road, hooves moving in a frantic rhythm. Mom jerks the wheel hard. The car spins. A shrill screech of tires, like a violin bow gone rogue, hits my ears, and I'm thrown against the door. Glass shatters, metal crumples, and we slam into a tree with a thunderous crash. A finale I didn't see coming. My vision blackens at the edges, coming in and out like a confused light bulb, unsure if it wants to work. I'm upside down, the seatbelt biting into me, blood dripping warm down my face. Mom's next to me, but there's something between us. Leaves, lots of leaves, and there's a tree. "Where did that come from?" "Mom," I whisper, dread pooling in my gut, but she doesn't move, and the world fades to a single haunting note. A branch sits on her chest like a conductor's baton, gone still. "Can you hear me?" Tears add to the haziness of my vision. "Mom? Mama?" Silence stretches like an awkward rest, waiting to snap and leap off a score. There's a chill in the air, and a brisk wind is howling through the window. Sirens pierce the stillness with a wail that claws at my ears. Red and blue lights pulse through the shattered windshield, painting Mom's face in garish streaks. I twist against the seatbelt, my leg pinned under a tangle of metal and glass, and pain flares hot up my thigh. "Help!" my voice rasps out, weak and cracked, barely audible over the chaos outside. Boots crunch on gravel, and voices shout orders that sound foreign to my ears. A firefighter's face looms close, his eyes wide behind a visor. "Hold on, kid, we're cutting you out," he says, and the screech of a saw drowns my reply. Metal groans, sparks fly, and I grit my teeth as they pry my leg free, each jolt a hammer on my nerves. They haul me onto a stretcher, the cold air biting at my blood-streaked arms, and I catch a glimpse of Mom through the wreckage. She's slumped, her head lolled to one side, blood pooling dark beneath her. Paramedics swarm her, but they move slowly, and their voices drop just out of reach. "Mom!" I scream, thrashing my body and clawing to get to her. Large hands pin me down, firm and unyielding, then lift me in the air, stretcher and all, as if I weigh nothing at all. The ambulance doors slam shut, and we lurch forward. The sirens wail a mournful melody I can't escape. My head spins, fog creeping in at the edges of my vision, and I fade out, the rhythm of the road rocking me under. As I drift in and out, flashes cut through the haze. A needle pricks my arm. Someone murmurs about stitches and x-rays. An antiseptic stings my nose. Each time my mind claws its way to the surface, the pain in my temples throbs louder. My legs, my face, and my hands ache. I'm jolted awake in a sterile white room, monitors beeping a steady pulse. Bandages wrap my arms, stitches pull tight across my cheek, and I feel the weight of every cut like a map of the crash carved into me. I turn my head, slow and aching. Claire, my best friend, sits perched on a chair. Her dark curls frame a face pale with worry, her brown eyes red-rimmed. "Amelia?" she whispers, leaning close, her voice trembling. "Claire," I croak, my throat raw, and she grabs my hand, squeezing it tight. "What? Where's Mom?" My words stumble to get out. My tongue moves with desperation, but fails to move at will. Her grip falters, and she looks away. "You mother." "I'm so sorry, Amelia. She didn't make it," Claire says, soft as a sigh, and the room tilts. My chest caves, a discordant crash of denial and dread, and I shake my head, fast and frantic. No, she's fine." She has to be. Claire's tears spill, and the truth lands heavy. Mom's gone. The argument replays in my skull. "I hate you. I wish you were dead." My last words to her were poison, not love. I try to scream, to beg to take it back, but my voice dies, locked behind a wall of guilt. My lips move, soundless, and Claire's eyes widen. "Amelia, say something, please." She shakes my shoulder, but I can't. "You're scaring me." The words I flung at Mom echo louder than anything I could say now, a melody of regret I'll never unplay. I curl into the pillow, my stitches pulling, and sob without sound. My silence becomes a cage I've built, and Claire's trembling voice, "You're scaring me," rattles its bars, but I can't break free. Her hand grips my shoulder, shaking me like she's trying to jolt a stuck key back to life. But my lips stay sealed, twitching with words that won't come. The pillow's damp under my cheek, soaked with tears I can't stop, and every stitch pulling at my skin feels like a reminder of the crash, a map of where I lost Mom. "I hate you. I wish you were dead." The memory of those words pounds in my skull, a relentless drumbeat, each strike louder than the last. I see her face in the car, eyes wide with hurt, then blank under flashing lights. My chest heaves, a hollow note echoing where her voice should be. I curl tighter, knees to my chin, and the hospital bed creaks under me, its cold metal frame a poor substitute for her arms. Claire leans closer, and her curls brush my face. The contact makes my breath hitch. "Amelia, please, just say something, anything." Her eyes glisten, red-rimmed and pleading, but I shake my head, fast and frantic, like I can shake off the truth. My throat's a locked vault, my tongue heavy as lead, and the harder I try to scream, the deeper the silence buries me. The room's too bright, too white. Fluorescent lights hum overhead, casting stark shadows on the tiled floor, and the monitors beep a steady pulse, mocking the one Mom's lost. I clutch Claire's hand, my nails digging into her palm, desperate for her warmth to anchor me, but it's not enough. The air smells of antiseptic, pain and grief, sharp and bitter, and I can't breathe past the weight of what I've done. A shadow moves beyond the glass-paneled door, and the handle turns with a slow, deliberate click. I flinch, my heart thudding against my ribs, and Claire stiffens beside me, her grip tightening. The door swings open, and a man steps in, his presence slicing through the haze like a blade. I've seen him before. Attorney Johnson, my mom's lawyer. He stands there with his slicked-back gray hair and a suit so crisp it looks ironed on. His face, all hard lines and no softness, carries a lack of emotion. He's been to our house before, droning about wills and taxes, but now he's a stranger invading my fragile bubble. His shoes tap the floor, a clipped rhythm, as he crosses to my bedside, pulling a chair close. The scrape of its legs against the tile grates on my nerves, and I wince, the sound too loud in this tomb of a room. "Amelia Harlow," he says, his voice flat and formal, like he's reading a script he's tired of reciting. He sits, crossing one leg over the other, and opens a leather folder with a faint creak. Papers rustle, thin and official, and he adjusts his glasses, peering at me over the rims. "We must discuss your situation now that you're awake, and with your mother's recent departure—" Death. That's the word he's looking for. His words hit like a slap, blunt and cold, and my breath catches a jagged hitch that burns my lungs. Claire squeezes my hand harder, her knuckles whitening. But I can't look at her because Mr. Johnson's eyes pin me, unblinking, and I feel small, as if an insignificant note scribbled in someone else's score. He clears his throat, a dry, impatient sound, pulls a stapled packet from his briefcase. Licking his thumb and index finger, he flips a page. "Your mother's will is explicit," he says, then drones on. "Effective immediately. Custody transfers to your biological father, Lord Edward Rye." My stomach lurches, a sour twist, and I blink at him, dazed. Lord Edward Rye? The name's a foreign melody, dissonant and wrong, and I shake my head, slow at first, then faster. "He resides in Yorkshire, England," Mr. Johnson continues, oblivious to the storm brewing in me, "and he's demanding you relocate there as soon as you're medically cleared." England? A father I've never met, never even heard of? My mind reels, grasping at straws. Mom never spoke of him, not once, and now he's claiming me like lost luggage? I fumble for the notepad Claire left on the bedside table, my fingers trembling so hard I knock over a plastic water cup. It clatters to the floor, spilling a puddle that mirrors my chaos, and Claire lunges to help, but I wave her off. The pen shakes in my grip, ink smearing as I scrawl, "No. I want to stay with Claire, please." The letters are messy and jagged, but I thrust the pad at him, my chest heaving, breath ragged. My eyes burn, pleading my case, but Mr. Johnson barely glances at it, his lips thinning into a line. "That's not an option," he says, crossing his arms over his chest, the folder resting on his knee like a shield. "Anna's wishes are legally binding, Amelia. Lord Rye's already been contacted, and he's insistent. You're his daughter." I shake my head and squeeze my eyes shut, hoping above all hope I'll wake from a nightmare, snug in my bed. "But how can you be sure he's her father?" Claire's eyes narrow, suspicion taking flight. Because, he replies, DNA confirmed it a couple of hours ago. The room tilts, a dizzying spin, and I clutch the sheets, pulling them tight around me. DNA confirmed? Mom knew this man, hid him from me, and now he's ripping me from Willow Creek, from Claire, from everything? Mr. Johnson drones on, saying something about passports, travel arrangements, and timelines, but his voice fades to a buzz, drowned by the roar in my head. I open my mouth, willing sound to break free, to yell, "No!" or "Stop!" But nothing comes. My lips move, soundless, a silent scream trapped behind a wall of guilt and glass. Claire's watching, her face crumpling, and I want to tell her I'll fight this. But my voice is gone, stolen by the crash, by those final, venomous words to Mom. Mr. Johnson stands, his chair scraping back, and the sound jolts me. "It's settled then," he says, snapping his briefcase shut with a crack that echoes like a gunshot. "You'll be notified of the travel date once the hospital releases you. Rest up. You'll need your strength for the move." His shoes tap out a retreat, steady and unhurried, and the door swings shut behind him, leaving a void that sucks the warmth from the room. I stare at the spot where he stood, my hands shaking, the notepad slipping to the floor. England. A stranger's estate. My future's a chord struck off key, dragging me across an ocean, and I'm powerless to rewrite it. The bed dips and Claire slides closer, her arms wrapping around me. Her curls tickle my neck, and her breath hitches against my ear. "Amelia, I'm here," she whispers, her voice cracking like thin ice. "I'll always be here, no matter what. I'll call you every day, every hour if you need me. I swear it." Her tears soak through my gown, hot against my skin, and I cling to her, my fingers digging into her sweater. She's solid, real. And the only anchor in this storm, I want to believe her promise can hold me together. But the pillow's wet beneath my cheek once more, my sobs silent and endless. Mom's face flickers, angry in the car, then still under the paramedics' lights. I pull back, just enough to see Claire's eyes, wide and searching, and I try again to speak, to say, "Don't let them take me." My lips form the shapes, but no sound follows, and her brow furrows, worry deepening the lines on her pale face. "It's okay," she murmurs, brushing a strand of hair from my stitches, her touch gentle, where everything else feels so sharp. "We'll figure this out, okay? Together." Her words offer up a fragile melody, a lullaby against the wreckage, but they can't drown the echo of what I've done, of the truth, of the words I spoke with haste. I wished Mom gone. It's my fault. I bury my face in her shoulder, my body shaking with soundless wails, and despair coils tight around me. Fate's hands offer nothing but a cold chill, pulling me from Claire, from home, and I don't know if I'll ever find the notes to fight back.